that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of What's in the Box? I am your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me, my homie, my dude, Von Klaus. What's up, brother? How you been?
Hey, my friend. It is good to be here. It is good to see you and hear your jolly, awesome voice. Every time I see you, I feel like I'm looking at like Russell Crowe preparing for a role, for some like awesome metalhead role.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, you remind me of Russell Crowe. I love him, so you should take that as a compliment. Like,
hell yeah,
he's one
dude.
of my favorite actors, like way back when.
Oh yeah, you know he was almost cast. He was almost cast in the role of Wolverine in the first X-Men movie.
They talked to him. I remember that
did.
back in the day, man. He was one of the like Aussies that they talked to.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, and he would have been good. I think he would have had that kind of ferocity. I think
he brought masculinity back to acting in the '90s. So that's all I'm saying.
Totally.
He did, and man, when he did Romper Stomper, that's when I was just like, "This dude's going places, dude. He's good." Anyway, but we're going off on a Crow tangent.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's how these shows roll, man. You know, we're that's what we do. I mean, I'm used to hosting topic lists, so I'm used to going off on tangents and whatnot. You know, it's good. Tangents are good. I know that there is the Kings of CG streaming tonight, and then there's also, I think Global Frequency is doing something. So I appreciate everybody that's here hanging out with us this evening. We got a Flying Feline. What's up, Flying Feline? Skulls. Got a Frog G. What's going on? Appreciate you guys all being here. And we got a Comics Mate. G'day. Good to see you guys. So, you know, if anybody that's been paying attention knows that Vaughn and I already did a What's in the Box for Monster MD, but because the campaign was closing, I had to get the supplemental stuff along with another book, another copy of it. So, yeah. Since the campaign was closing, and I'm thinking, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm thinking, might try to get the other book in the shop and see how quickly it disappears, because we're coming up on Samhain season. So, I mean, it's the perfect book for Samhain. And also, I got my Graveyard Shift Volume 3, which you wrote in. You wrote a story in, right?
Not in Volume 3.
Not in Volume 3?
Nope. Okay. I wasn't on that one. But I wrote for the supplemental in Volume 1.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay,
like.
then I have that. Well, damn, I should have had you on for that. I tried to get a hold of Malin for Graveyard Shift Volume 1 and 2, but you know, and the Huerta cover, but I can't get a hold of him. I mean, dude's busy, so. But yeah. All right, so I can't wait to check out this supplemental stuff. So, you closed the campaign for Monster MD. I guess I'll go ahead and flip the camera down. You know, you closed the campaign.
Okay, moment of truth. Let's go.
Right. So what?
Oh yes, Switchblade style. Let's do this. That's the way. That's the way to open all my books. I highly recommend it this way. So, Monster. Okay, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, now that you've closed the campaign, and we all know that you've got the Terror coming up. You know, will we see more Monster MD after the Terror? Like,
yes.
Okay, good.
That's the plan. I already miss Heidi and Wyatt. I've already written a really kick-ass story idea, and I have an outline going. The outline is not done. But it's almost done. And when it's done, writing a script will be, you know, it'll take a little time, but not much. I'm very fast when it comes to the script part, because I'm a really big outline guy.
Okay.
I'll even write like some of a lot of the lines for the book in the outline, you know. So like once the script comes, it comes pretty quick and smooth, and then we get an awesome comic. So that is the plan after Black Terror, is to do another Monster MD and then do more Black Terror, you know, kind of cycle through my different cool books.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got you're building now. Are they going to be in the same universe, or is this going to be a separate universe thing? Are you
it's separate?
Separate. Okay.
It's like kind of, I just see them as such different. they're the same flavor. That's for damn sure. Like
Right.
they're my style. But there's something about because Black Terror is a golden age character, and so is Lady Satan, and I kind of play with history a little bit in the story, Terror in the Trenches. I want to keep it separate from things like Monster MD that are kind of more based in our universe,
Right.
that's been unchanged, unaltered. So, yeah, they don't really feel like they really fit all that well. I feel like in the Monster MD world, you're not going to run into like a superhero clad in black. It's more human beings and monsters,
You'll run into the supernatural, but not necessarily a superhuman.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Black Terror universe, like people know about superheroes, they fought in World War II, stuff like that. So it's different than Monster MD in a lot of ways. Yeah.
See if I can.
Oh yeah.
Now you can see the promo poster for it. And this card.
Back when I thought I was gonna, that is a John Malin piece.
It
Very
is
beautiful.
Indeed.
He did a great job capturing him and the Fritz the werewolf.
Yeah.
This was a cool card too because we did the backs to have like kind of a medical chart feel, so it fits with the whole Monster MD world. So I love it. It's funny too. Yeah.
Focus. There we go. So you can.
It's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
See, and it's got little weird handwritten notes, and it makes fun of furpies because that's what they call werewolves.
Furpies. I think that's still the funniest damn thing I've ever heard in a comic.
Most people come to me and they just go furpies, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm the furpies guy. Yeah, kick-ass button. That's made local by one of our.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Man, I love my punk rocky local artisan guys making stuff.
Like DIY or die, right? Look at this patch. Now I got 2 of these.
You're really in the game now, man.
Well, see, now one can go on my metal battle vest, my death metal battle vest, and then I have one for my my comic book battle vest because I've got a vest that I'm going to put like all the different patches and stuff that I've gotten from different crowdfunded campaigns.
Oh, that's cool, man. Much honor. Then we got a bookmark.
I love the designs.
Well,
yeah, I love the designs. I mean, I know that people saw this on the last one, but I mean, I love the print quality and the stark, the black and white, the contrast of these. I love the design work here.
I'm such a nerd for design. I actually found something I kind of want to share with you.
Please do.
That made me become kind of a whore for design. It's this book. I don't know if you've ever seen this book.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on.
It's just the handbook of pictorial symbols from like around the world. That's all it is. It's just pictorial symbols. It might be really boring to a lot of people, but for some reason I thought it was like fascinating. I loved I love how there's a different symbol for so many different types of positions, so many different types of stages of your life, different types of crimes, different types of food, different types of everything. There's like a symbol that someone out there had to design and make it like communicate with us in a very simplistic but effective way. And so I got obsessed with like design and I started using these. Dude, back in the day, I had to Xerox copy these at a bigger size so I could then cut them out and like use them to make flyers and posters. And do all this graphic design. Well, all that stuff, all this inspiration is part of why I design things the way I do now that you're seeing in this. Yeah. So,
well,
I'm really into it.
It's kind of like hieroglyphics if you think about it. I mean, it was their language, it was their written language, but also, they were able to get so many different ideas across with just those pictures,
right?
Pictograms, and that's kind of what that is. It's an economy of line, an economy of I don't know. I guess line is really the only thing I can come up with. Economy of shape, I guess. Shape language.
It's and understanding the human mind too, and what affects us and how we see, So it was very important for me to study that because to this day, I mean, everything I design is with the impact and the simplicity of this in mind,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love this cover, man.
It's a good one, man. I remember when I first posted that before, way back when, and And yeah, I slipped you in a little secret.
Oh, you rock, homie.
Yeah.
Look at the hotness. Look at the hotness. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Heidi being damn sexy is what she's doing right there.
Juicy Heidi. I love her. Yeah. See, I already missed writing her. I already missed writing. Yeah, I'm glad you dig it, man. I'm glad it got there safe because I kind of like slid it in. Like I was like, oh darn, I hope it doesn't get hurt. You know, it looks like it's all right. That's great.
Yeah. No, these Gemini mailers do well, man.
They're great.
Yeah.
Fantastic mailers. So yeah, when I first showed this cover off back in the day, I remember a lot of pros were like, "Whoa, what is this?" You know, and that's when I knew like this could be big. This could be something special. You know, I kind of always knew it could though, to be sure, because like this was such a cool concept, and the comic always made people laugh. You know, because I did an older version of it with a different artist, and
right.
it's almost like it was a test, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you getting to know the characters, you know, taking them out for a test run, you know.
Yeah, and also that comic is really bizarre in a way when you think about it, because I wrote it as a screenplay for a short film to be filmed in Chicago on a low budget first. So if you consider all that, if you consider that, you'll see why like there aren't a lot of location changes. There's not a lot of big action in it, which comics should have big action, in my opinion, you know, at least in my opinion. So like, what the hell was I doing? Well, I was making a short film, but I was making a comic book too back then of it because I couldn't make the short film. And I hate being on set. I hate making movies. Like I like being behind the scenes, typing a script or making a comic. I don't want to be out on a set dealing with human beings. Like that's not why.
I mean, I could understand that, but I mean, sometimes when you're in a production and you know you're having fun, like it can be a blast. There's a certain amount of magic, you know, on a good set.
With a good set and a good team, like it can make all the difference in the world. But it's just my personality type. Like I wish I was one of the personality types that like flourished on a set and like loved the energy. I get drained.
Oh yeah, I mean, I totally understand that too.
I am, and like, oh man, my cat's being a weirdo now. But like, it's a weirdo that I am, and like, it's because I'm a writer type, though, you know, and like, I behave and create and stuff.
Well, I mean, exactly. You sit and you sit at home and you create, you know, away from people. I'm just showing off the you know the spot UV here. This is I love this. You know, the spot gloss on these covers.
Yeah, people really liked how that came out. I just went for broke and made it big. I've never done this before. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, if we make them glossy and the rest kind of has a matte, I think it could look cool, you know. But I was not for sure until I saw the finished product, and it was just beautiful.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it makes it stand out.
I had a lot of help from the API guys on it, from Joseph actually, my printer guy. He guided me through it and made it. He made this book like extra good, I think, and that's why even the bookmark, you know, you see there is just beautifully printed. You know, like everything is. I'm just really proud of. Like I did spend the extra money because people gave me the money. You know, you guys paid for this, and I wanted to make it a really special outing for my first book too. So
absolutely, man, and it turned out absolutely gorgeous.
I'm happy. Yes. I have people like I have pros coming from out of the woodwork to be like, what were your stats? Like, what did you use? You know? So I think in a way, I'm not pretending like I'm not bragging. Like I lucked out. I had good printer people guide. You know what I mean? And I had Eric Weathers helping me on setting it up for print, and like great smart people were helping me along the way. So this is like this reflects on their greatness. You know. Right. API did a great job, and Joseph was fantastic. So,
well, you know, I mean, the old saying, you get by with a little help from your friends, get high with a little help from my friends. You know, so it's always good to have good people around you that can. Well, I mean, that's why you hire professionals, right? Because they know that which you don't, so you can get the thing done.
I had a lot to learn. I've never printed my own book before. This was all new, man. Oh, yeah, and then we got the sketchbook. Oh, God, I loved doing this, man. I was so pumped for this. I'm so glad so many people stepped out to back this and, like, give it a chance because it's kind of unusual. Like, it's not your usual sketchbook, it looks like an old beat up medical journal from like a monster doctor's lab.
Oh my god, I love this cover. The cover on this is it's like a matte finish. This is one of the ones that I constantly just like rub my hand across because
Dude,
it
me
feels
too.
so good.
I caught myself fondling that cover the other day.
I mean, seriously, it feels so good in the hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's going to slip out. I mean, it feels good in the hand.
It's just gorgeous work from API again. I always liked crazy books growing up that looked like, I don't know, something they weren't, or something fantastic, something out of the ordinary, something more than what they were. Something, I don't know, something that lets you into the world a little bit more. So I wanted the design of this book to kind of let you into the Monster MD world more.
Oh yeah, I love stuff like this, behind the scenes stuff, like thought process, delving into the creation of the world. I love this comparison right here. The original like Monster MD or the opening, splash page, and then the redone one. This is very well done. It's very competent, but there's something about the final that actually it works more with the tone of the story.
Yes.
Like there's a tongue-in-cheekness that is kind of lost with this image, and it looks kind of like, well, for lack of a better term, like every other monster story, right?
Mm-hmm.
This feels like this is something different. This is something unique. This has got an energy to it.
That's right.
It's got a bounce to it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with this. This just reminds me a bit too much of The Walking Dead and all of the art that has kind of sprung up because of that.
It has a somberness to it, and that's fine. But that's not what I was going for with my script, which Monica captures perfectly.
Yeah, 100%. So that's
when I hired Monica. It was because I saw that she did horror well. Cute monsters well, and comedy well. Yeah. And that was the combination we needed for making Monster MD kick ass,
That beautiful bit of alchemy of all those things all together.
Indeed.
And this symbol, I love this, man.
Yeah.
My Monster MD shirt is literally it is one of my favorite shirts to wear,
That was so fun to design because I just knew I was making magic. I was having fun. I was like, it's the classic medical staff we all know, but what would the Monster Doctor version look like? And it just came together so well. I was like, dude, this is the type of symbol that sells something to me, or at least to me, because it's got that rock and roll heavy metal feel that my work needs to have. It's fun, it's mysterious, it makes you want to know more if you're a fan of this type of stuff, this creepier, occult type stuff. It's
I love the design of it, man.
I was like, this is the first t-shirt, this is what it's all about.
Like I said, I love wearing my Monster MD shirt, especially to the shop, but I mean, it's the shirt's really comfy. I mean, Frog G actually posted a link to the Monster MD shirts in the chat, so go hit that up. I can confirm that the shirt is very soft, very comfortable, and it each one, from what they said, uniquely distresses in its own way. So you will have a unique shirt the entirety of the time that you have it.
That's badass.
This is hilarious. Heidi's about to die.
That's the first time Monica and Tanya worked together right there.
Wow.
That's when I knew if I could do a comic book of this, we're going to do well. Like, this is killer, This
is what you were looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
Oh, that's exciting. It's it's always cool to see. It's always cool to see things come together. The way they I don't know, coalesce into the way they're supposed to be.
Well, especially when the original Monster MD was a loss for me. I spent all this time and money making it. I remember I had this ex-girlfriend telling me, "You're never going to go anywhere with this. This is garbage. You're wasting your time and money." And then my artist ducked out on me for the last 5 pages and turned in like chicken scratch as like a screw you. So I remember before I had this win with this, combination of this great team, I kind of got my nuts kicked in a bit with, and that's just life. And that's
Right.
what it is to make comics. Like, I don't know anybody who hasn't gotten burned by somebody at some point in like trying to make comics,
Oh yeah.
It
Unfortunately, that's part of.
But you know what? You take that step back and you learn from it. I working on that indie comic with the other artist, first version of Monster MD, I put so much work into the lettering, into the script to make it so good. Like, it made me a better comic book creator. Like, it's good that I had this failure and fell on my face with it. Like, I also had to fix his art a lot because I'm going to be honest, the guy was he would be lazy. And so I would ask him, like, am I allowed to, like, edit your art in certain ways? And he said, totally, dude, go for it. He said, I think you make my art better. So I was like, okay, cool. So I, drew a lot, but I also ended up creating the world of Monster MD while doing this, because I started adding like graffiti and hidden little messages. And that ended up becoming a big part of the next book, as you know.
Yeah. Well, see,
so, like,
and that's
things came together in a good way,
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, what is it? You learn more from your failures than you do your successes. Is what they usually say.
It made me a better comic creator, and it made me ready to take on or to put together a team with like Monica and Tanya to take on or make the new Monster MD what it was. So, I mean, I'm grateful for it. It's just, it is a different comic, though. You read it and you get a different tone that has kind of a somberness, because that artist didn't embrace the comedy,
Right. It that somberness, the somberness doesn't really fit with the tone that you were going for, especially some of the dialogue, like the back and forth between Wyatt and oh my god, really?
Fritz?
No, just Fritz, Heidi? But Heidi, yeah. The dialogue, the back and forth between all the characters, but the back and forth between Wyatt and Heidi is great. It's like two friends that have been working together for a while, and it feels real when they speak back and forth. And it would be jarring to have that somber tone in the artwork, and then to have that kind of, I don't know, almost jaunty dialogue, if that makes sense.
Right. Definitely. It clashes. And that was something I accepted back then. Back then I was just making comics for the love of it. And because I didn't want to be on set anymore. I wanted control. When you try to make movies, everybody's just out to change everything, especially if you're a writer. They look at your writing as like, whatever, I can change this into whatever the fuck I want overnight,
Right. Well, that's
comics
what producers
are just where
do.
it's at, and too often. Comics is where it's at, and
I agree.
I don't want to look back. This is like all I want to keep making, man, and that's why I'm so glad Monster MD came out great. And I was gonna do. I was so. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Is this like a lift file for? Like, did you create like a lift file of like, I don't know, just inspiration pieces? Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's
just fucking cool, man.
I do that because of my filmmaker school bullshit. Like I make inspirational images for my team. Yeah, to help.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is. And when I went to design school, they had us do stuff like this when we were putting together projects. That way, we had an idea. That way, we had examples that we could pull from in the real world to make it coalesce better. They called it creating a lift file. Especially if you were doing research on a project. Totally, man. This is a great method to get your ideas together. Yeah, a lift file. It's your reference.
I do that for every project pretty much.
No, it's a fantastic thing.
The meat wagon, his truck. Yeah. There's the first picture that inspired the design for the meat wagon. Yeah,
fucking love it, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's cool to see. It's cool to see another person's process of putting one of these together. Yeah, inspirational images. Yeah,
it's
man.
Weird when you make something like this, because I've never done this before. So, like, I think this book looks cool and everything, but sometimes I'm like, do people really think it's that cool, like what I'm doing? But it's like, dude, no, this is awesome. Like these are cool character designs. The work that goes into making my stuff what it is a lot. And I think it's, I mean, when you see it all come together, it's fun to show off because it that in itself is cool, like to check out. Like I love character designs myself. You get plenty of them in the sketchbook, as you can see.
I'm definitely glad, man. This is so cool. I am so glad I went back and got another copy so I could get this supplemental thing. I was missing out, man. This is so cool. Like the blueprints right there were pretty
sweet. Oh yeah, the blueprints is classic. Oh, I had fun doing those. I knew that would be a cool way to promote the book.
Hell yeah, man.
The movie posters were actually done like way back when, before I did the first book even. So when I first wrote it, like I said, it was like a short film script. So I wanted to make a cool kind of movie poster to kind of promote it. And so those are what I made. Another designer helped me on it a little bit. He was awesome. And so, yeah, I ended up making those. And so those were the cover of my little short film script for like a half a second. And then before I knew it, I was doing this as a comic. And to be honest, yeah, I haven't looked back. It's been better ever since.
No. I mean, you have the budget that you need with a comic, as long as you're not killing your artist and your artist is up for it, like you got all the budget you need, What's up, Rick? Thanks for coming to hang out. Flying Feline says she really likes the caduceus. The Monster MD symbol. She's very fond of my Monster MD shirt as well. She likes it.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. What's up, Lola?
I forgot if I had I'm trying to remember if I had a different name for mine than caduceus though. Because it's a monster version. Like I had a name. I might be called the Medusius. No, I don't know. I think I
like that.
I'm one of those nerdy creators that like everything has a cool name. Or has to have like the right name. Sometimes it's not even about the coolest name as much as it is like the right name.
Oh yeah, you find that one and it just rings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But like, I think I had a name for that because that is like that should have I like to think about like if people are going to ask me questions about the world or like what Dr. Black would say, or I like to think about, like the facts or like things they might say in conversation. Like he might bring up that symbol for whatever reason. Because monsters do see that symbol as a symbol of like, hey, I'm safe here type thing. House assistant you've never seen. That's right.
Yep. And then in the supplemental book here, you got the process of this awesome pinup image,
which was quite a process. Like, look at all the different things,
all the different iterations.
And that's not even we did different poses and stuff, but like we found this perfect pose, and I was very particular about what I wanted because I just knew what was like. I knew when I saw it. That what it was like, that it had to have the sheer flesh hose. Something about that I think just worked for the Invisible Lady. It needed black vinyl latex gloves because that goes best with like doctor horror stuff. And then I went with the black underwear because we're sexing Heidi up and it matches the gloves well. And then of course the bandages, the awesome. Bandages.
To inform the shape. Yeah.
And then I let her give her these cute retro glasses, which she designed really well. Great job, Zashi. She did
very like 1950s librarian, that hot librarian look. Yeah.
So yeah, she captured it perfect, man. And then we asked her to do a little signature at the end, and she did great on that too. So.
Beautiful book, man. I can't wait to go through the rest of this. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm definitely glad I went ahead and got this supplemental book. This is so awesome to see. And it's for anyone looking to make a book, stuff like this is inspiring. To see another creator's process, and to see it all come together and I don't know. This one of the things I loved about Poison Elves. I don't know if you've ever read Poison Elves, but Drew Hayes would start each book.
read it after you mentioned to me last time. I've since read a few issues, and I loved it.
That makes me happy.
It's
great, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
It is. It's great.
So at the beginning of each issue, I kind of figured it would be, man. Like I figured it would be right up your alley. Drew was Drew was one of us. He was DIY, you know, his punk metal, like, you know, even Horton Heat. But he would always start off each one of the comics with a starting note, and you know, this was back before people were you know, blogging all the time and, you know, using YouTube and whatnot. And he would just be real with his audience. He would talk to his audience through the starting notes, and you know, he would encourage people to, you know, mail him and stuff like that. And he would, you know, have arguments. I mean, he actually used to be in a faux feud with Brian Michael Bendis. You know, back when Bendis was an indie comics writer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Do you remember that?
No.
Like with Whiteout and. Oh, he brought one of them back, I think, with DC. Anyway, long story short,
that segment of comics because
it was early days. It was early days. I was actually wandering around MegaCon dressed up as Lucifer from Poison Elves, had the big ears and everything like that, and you know, I'm walking down an aisle and I hear somebody like yelling at me, "Lucifer, Lucifer!" So I walk over, and it's Brian Michael Bendis, and he had just started writing Alias for Marvel. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're that dude writing Alias. That's a pretty fun book. He's like, keep reading that book. That's going to be fun. And then, you know, skyrocketed from there. But, yeah, he called me over because he recognized my cosplay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah. But, you know, that connection with the audience, that's what we have now. You know, that's what we're able to do with this. So I love this DIY or die indie spirit that we've got, you know.
Man,
like,
I tried not to be an artist. Okay, I tried. I failed. I tried not to be a weirdo artist my whole life. I tried. Like, I was always secretly doing art, though. When I was in med school, I was secretly drawing comics. I was drawing Garrison from Battle Chasers and shit.
Nice, dude.
When I was and then when I was in graphic design school, I was drawing and writing I was writing other comics that, you know, haven't even gotten made, you know, or just kind of been lost in the annals of history. I've every time I would try to live the normal, like, corporate life, I'm just making comics in the background and enjoying that way more. So if I can,
who really wants to live the corporate life? I mean,
I don't function. Like, you can't make me go out there into that weird office world. It's weird.
Well, I mean, my blue mohawk is actually a defiant middle finger to the corporate office life. When I worked my last office job, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Not working an office job again. I hate this shit. I'm not working in an office anymore. I'm out. I'd rather go mow lawns. So yeah, that's one of the things I do. I like fix computers, you know, do shit on my own time.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
and
I was a little kid. I was in preschool. This weird artist came to our school that day to show us how to do pottery, and everyone else went outside to play. And he was wearing like all black with like a t-shirt with like glow in the dark ribs on it.
Yes,
and I thought he was the coolest dude. Like, this was the 80s too. And like, he was all gothed out, and I was like, this dude's cool. You know, it's probably like Tim Burton or some shit. And then like, he and I sculpted some like weird, creepy shit, and I thought that was cool. And instead of going out for recess, I just sculpted with this dude. And from then on, I was influenced to want to be an artist, like from that, you know what I mean? Like, at an early age. Yeah. So like, yeah, I tried not to be. I tried to go the straight and narrow, dude. I have to be a dirty punk rock artist. Sorry, I gotta be.
Oh no, perish the thought.
At least if I'll fall flat on my face. I'll fall flat on my face then, and then I'll have to go back. Or you guys can help support my new book. We'll see whichever comes first.
Oh, I think we gonna support the new book. I am excited about the Terror. Oh yeah, dude. Really? I mean, it looks fun. Like, I mean, when I got this teaser image when I got my first Monster MD book. You know, I love pulp era heroes. Like,
Yeah.
and some of the early, like, superhero characters. I mean, the Shadow, the Phantom, and the Rocketeer are three of my favorite characters from that
Hell
era.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like
Good stuff.
I don't care what anybody says. I love the Billy Zane movie. I enjoy the Alec Baldwin that played the Shadow.
Yes.
And I like the Rocketeer, that Disney put out. Same dude that directed Captain America: First Avenger.
Those were fun movies.
Yeah.
And
I mean, were they perfect? Fuck no.
No.
But I mean, they were good. They captured the feel.
Dude, they definitely weren't trash though at all. Like they don't deserve like the hate they get at all. Like
no.
You probably won't get a more like faithful Shadow adaptation on film ever by Hollywood. Like that's about, like that's it right there as far as I'm concerned. They did a good job. But yeah, man, I'm really glad you dig that because I do too. And I'm getting to do my version of this. And so with me, it comes with like horror attached. It comes with like, more brutality. It comes with It's just, I'm so excited about this book, man. I actually tried to do Monster MD 2 and I started getting an awesome story going and stuff. But like, dude, terror was like calling and was like, dude, if you don't do me now, you might never do this book. Like you may miss out.
Don't miss this opportunity.
All right, I got to do this. And it's also like when I was a kid as an 8-year-old in the comic book stores of the 80s, I was there for dark, brutal Avenger heroes like Punisher and Wolverine and and the Ninja Turtles. And
that was the time period for him too, man. That was
right, because they were still indie then. Mm-hmm. And like it was, or maybe they had just gotten onto Mirage or whatever. I don't know, but like,
Mirage was their imprint, later on they had Turtles comics come out through Archie. That were more of like the adventures type stuff.
Which I got those too. Those were fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that was the new iteration for the kids with the pizza and shit.
The color coded bandanas. Yep. That was when they were. I mean, in the original first issue, they straight up throw a knife through Shredder's window and they're like, "Come on, bitch, come out and die."
Yeah.
Like they were straight up assassins, and then it's like, okay, now
Shredder.
Yeah, that's their one goal: kill this motherfucker. He killed my master.
Shredder, they thought he was going to die after one issue, and they'd come up with new characters. They didn't think he was going to be that badass. They didn't mean to do it.
Well, see, and that's usually what happens.
Well, with Peter,
what's up, El Gargoyle?
Laird, apparently they just like shit gold by accident one day because the Turtles were a joke, and Shredder was just like we'll kill him in one episode. Who cares? And like, look at what we have now. So.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest IPs ever. Came from the indie sector. We are the indie sector.
And that's where you need to find your magic, man.
That's right.
That's where you need to look. And here we have Terror in the Trenches, my ode to Dark Avenger stories, the ultimate Dark Avenger tale. Black Terror was the terror of the trenches in World War II. Nazis were terrified of him. He has fear-inducing powers like the Scarecrow. He's almost invulnerable. He's strong. He uses trench knives. He's cutting people up. It's a nightmare, okay? But something happened that made him retire, something horrific that even he couldn't face. 30 years later, vengeful Nazis from his past come. They find him in his pharmacy. They bomb his neighborhood. Everything gets decimated, okay? He's forced for one night to try to survive in the wreckage of what was his neighborhood and live in these new trenches of what was, his friends and neighbors' ashes, and relive the darkness and the fears of his past as he does it. He's haunted by his wife. He's scared that the terror gas that he has to inhale that gives him his powers is going to make him black out, and he's going to finally just go from being good guy Bob Bitten pharmacist to just like crazy killer that doesn't even discern from friend or foe, just murdering people. But he's basically hunting down these Nazis, and he's discovering how he's kind of connected to them in more ways than you would expect. in this story. What I love about it, it's got a real John Carpenter, Frank Millery, like one location, big like brawl, like survival thing going on.
Nice.
So, because it's just all wreckage, like most of the story, but you see, there's a lot of flashbacks that are going to give us like different views of, different atmospheres and different things that happen. But like, that's what I like about it, though. It's all taking place in these trenches that were his neighborhood. That was the concept that kind of grew this story. And I wanted to make Black Terror a character we could like get into again. A character that is a dark Avenger and brutal and badass,
right,
and lives up to the name Black Terror. So giving him fear powers was part of the fun. You see him as what you fear most before you die. So in this story too, I get to explore the nature of fear in a lot of cool ways, man. We all react differently to it.
Right.
We're all afraid of different things. I mean, there's so many cool layers to this story that I get to explore with this cool cast of characters that I put together too. So I'm just so stoked about this. I could
tell, man.
I finished Monster MD, and then I remember I had some ideas for Black Terror stories, or then I came up with the idea of like the hero who has to march through the trenches of their own neighborhood, and I just loved that concept so much. And I was like, dude, I want to do a Black Terror story after reading some particularly not great Black Terrors that they put out recently.
I remember you and I had a conversation about that after I got the other one. I was like, so, they're doing this. You're like, yeah, I ain't worried. And nor should you have been.
Yeah,
wow.
Nobody seems to know what to do with him, but I know what to do with him. I know how to make him cooler than cool. It's the Todd McFarlane principle. You take a character nobody cares about and you unlock the potential in them and make people care about them. Show them how cool that character can be. And that's what I think I'm going to pull off with, at least I want to pull off with Black Terror here. And I think the story is where it's going to prove itself. I think where people are going to go, oh, there's something deeper going on here that's really explores the dark side of being, one of those heroes who walks the line between good guy and villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's also got this thing with his gas that he has to inhale. So there's this like drug addiction-y thing kind of going on a little bit.
Right.
Where the gas, because the gas, sure, it gives him power, but when he breathes out, if you are near him, you'll see him as what you fear most. So, what do you think that does to his wife when he comes home at night? You know what I mean?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. What do you think that would do if he were to have kids? You know what I mean? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't smell daddy.
The consequences.
And it becomes like a drug metaphor because his wife will be like, yeah, I smell it on your breath. And it's not, it's not alcohol. It's this terror gas that gives him his power. So it's like it's like a drug metaphor thing. These are things that have been done in comics. But in a way, I feel like I'm using them in an effective way that just makes Black Terror a way cooler character that I think people will appreciate, because a lot of these classic tropes I believe in and I think can hold power when applied to Black Terror as a character.
Hell yeah.
So I think that's part of the fun of walking the line between Golden Age character and kind of updating him for what I think is cool,
Sure.
Because I like to embrace the Golden Age stuff where I can and be respectful of it, But at the same time, I didn't approach this like I'm writing a Golden Age story. I'm not. This is so not Golden Age. It's probably more of an anime or manga than a Golden Age.
It just happens to be using a Golden Age character.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm unlocking what I see in him that other people haven't seen yet. We've never seen him made into a horrific butcher. You know what I mean? Who walking around with this gas coming out of the sides of his mouth like a monster, and you see him as what you fear most before you die. I mean, come on. That's some fucking Grim Reaper type shit. I love it. I love the good guys who send a chill up the other good guys' spines when they show up, and that's what I want my Black Terror to be But yeah. But my Lady Satan doesn't take him that seriously. She's like, whatever, bitch. I've seen the depths of
well, I mean, with a name like Lady Satan, I would guess that she's probably seen some shit.
She's seen some shit, but she's a good witch, though. She's not. She's named Lady Satan by the German newspapers by her enemies, because and she adopted it and embraced it to strike
Right.
fear into the hearts, because that's what they did. It turns out I thought I had come up with that idea, thinking I was so fucking clever, right? In the script, I put that in my script. When I did my research, man, I discovered like no, even like way back when she was created in the 40s or 30s, like that's what happened. The Germans named her Lady Satan, man.
Right.
Like, so as usual, the classics were right. They were smart. They were way ahead of me. And I learned a lot, and I learned that the classics rule. Anyway, so I was really happy that I got to point that out in my story too, because some people are like, dude, like Lady Satan, her name's Lady Satan. Like, is she into, satanic shit or the occult or whatever? Like, that's just the badass moniker they gave her. She's a gun witch. She uses telekinesis to levitate guns around her and blow you the hell away. And she does these little flips. She does use a little bit of magic in other ways, but it's like good magic. She's one of those witches who's like, you shouldn't use bad magic because it just comes back on you tenfold type thing. That's kind of part of the rules and the things I explore in the Black Terror world,
Hell yeah. Looking forward to seeing the world building and rules of magic in the world.
Should I bring up the character designs, or
if you want? Yeah, absolutely, man.
Would you like to see them? All right.
Of course. Now I know that you've got a little video down here for Terror in the Trenches, a teaser trailer, so I can play that.
Yeah.
What about wants to know is she into BDSM?
Who?
I guess Lady Satan.
Lady Satan? No, she's a lady. She's fucking pissed, Lady Satan. She's an ex-fortune teller, like mystic. And her husband was murdered in front of her. She watched his face get blown off with a firebomb. Yeah, and she's pissed. And so, like, she doesn't have, like, she's, like, not her, and this is part of her character you'll find in the script. She's very, like, rolling solo. She's not into relationships. Like, she's taking a break. Whereas Netta is totally into BDSM, big time. That's probably just, like, starters for her.
Right.
All right, let's share. We'll share this. Cool. So these were some character designs.
Nice.
I'm pretty proud of them. I'm
dig that bike.
I got really into like, the thing about this book that's interesting is like, I had finished up Monster MD, and I didn't even know what I was going to do next, but this just kind of came out of me late at night while I was like going through a breakup, and I was, like I said, mad about those bad Black Terror books, and it just had a life of its own. It just was so fun to write. And so I started seeing my version of Black Terror in my head, and I've always wanted to do a story where there's like a gothy, but he's like classic superhero, but he's like gothy. That's the type of stuff I like. And
hell yeah.
And he's got the skull and crossbones. Like, how is this character so cool looking, but not considered like cool on the shelves? Like, why is he from the same era as like Batman and Superman, yet he never evolved into a seller? Like, why not? Like,
never had the good stories. Never got picked up for the good stories.
No one knows what to do with them, right? Well, I think you embrace the terror. You make that part of his character. He should embrace, his own darkness. You make him this badass, kind of scary, good guy, but classic looking too. And and you make him use knives with super strength, which is pretty awesome. And I think you have something awesome. I think you have something pretty cool. You give him the fear power. I don't know. This is what I like. And this was the version that I thought, okay, this is the story I want to tell. This is the story I think is worthy of Black Terror. This is the evolution he deserves as a character. So from there, I just started writing the script. I just wrote it like over 200 pages, man. And I was like, damn, this book is my dark epic, and I'm proud as hell of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I remember I was thinking, like, well, I guess I'll just leave this in a folder and then get back to Monster MD. And I thought maybe someday I'll do it, you know, when I'm more established, when people take me more seriously. Because, like, this is a risky thing to do. Doing a Golden Age character, I think, is really easy, an easy way for people to just kind of disregard you or just kind of figure that it doesn't, like, there's nothing special, as special going on because it's not your character.
Right.
What makes your take so much special than another? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Because I got a fucking cool idea with it.
I've had people ask me, well, yeah, that's true. Right. You're saying it's right. Like, but I had people ask me, and it's a fair question. Like, why don't you just make up your own character? Like, there's something for me personally that makes me want to give Black Terror his due as a character. I just feel like I want, and I feel like I would be honored to be part of that, I guess. To make him that cool, to me, is exciting as a creator. And it's like a creative challenge. What if I don't pull it off? Maybe I won't. But, like, I don't care. I'm having a blast making Black Terror this badass. I'm having a blast getting to do these characters.
Yeah.
So, like, hell to the man. Like, this is a high T book. It's going to be more brutal than a lot of the other books, but it's going to be, I promise you guys, the way it's written, it's just going to, you guys are going to just want more and more. You're going to love the story. It's written with a lot of style. It even has like that. My humor is still there. The action is over through the roof. The designs are great. The characters are awesome. You guys are going to love it. Monica is killing it on the art right now. What else can I say?
It's a hell of an image. I love it.
You know what? I feel when I made this, it made a new type of creator out of me because I was like, wow, I can sit down and write an epic story and just, you know what I mean? And cast it with a cool cast and make it into something special. And I realized, like, I need to create books like this. You know what I mean? Like, in this, it kind of like refined how I want to create. So I learned a lot from this too, man, for sure. I also learned that, like, for instance, this character, Detonetta, like, I've always wanted to do a vinyl, sexy, baroness, like, villainous character.
Like a vinyl vixen.
A vinyl vixen, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
This was my excuse, and I got to do it, and I'm like having so much fun, right? And then like, I've always wanted to do like an evil Nazi, like like crazy, brilliant but nuts doctor madman, you know, genocidal madman, and then like here he is, Dr. Kaufenstein. Like
this image right here totally gives me like Danger Girl vibes. You know, like the good spy stuff they were doing with their, you know, their, fantastic book. But this image, especially that profile, definitely gives me that fun, you know, I dig it, man. I mean, and the coloring goes along with it. You know, it's got that. It's not necessarily an animated vibe to it, but it pops kind of like that. You know, kind of cartoon, but definitely comic. You know. This is exciting, dude. I'm loving this.
Yeah. And like, and I've always wanted to do a gun witch character with a heel with a gun in it, and like, boom, Lady Satan presents herself, and hell to the like, I'm having too much fun. And then you've got, I've always wanted to do like a mutated sniper who doesn't need a scope with awesome scopes for eyes. Boom, lock shot. She presents herself. Wow. This is bad. Like, I'm having and I knew part of the way would help sell the book and make it a more interesting story in general was just having a cast that really hit. It couldn't just be about Black Terror. It couldn't.
Oh yeah.
It couldn't. We need a cast that makes people go, whoa, like, this is different than just your run of the mill. Like, hey, someone's redoing a Golden Age character. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I have to stand out. I can't let it just be another Golden Age take. Like, this has to be a bigger story and book than that. I'm not going to get to do another, or I could do it, but I probably won't come up with another superhero story that's all gothed out and like brutal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is Black Terror for me.
Right.
I'm not going to do another thing like this again, probably. So this is my Dark Avenger tale. Like, soak it up while you can, kids. It's bad. It's going to be real badass, man.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool.
And this was of course, my obvious excuse to put Trapjaw into my comic and make him a Nazi zombie style character. And I've been like, all these dreams I had came together for this book, man. It's just been so fun. So yeah, this is character. You find out more about him. In fact, I gotta say, I really am proud of my work on these villains. They're originals. They're made up to kind of blend well with these Golden Age characters in a cool way, and I gave them a little bit of a backstory, but nothing too like heavy. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to take up too much page real estate at all, but something that like lets you know like what they're about and like some cool reveals along the way that I think people are going to really dig. So.
Yeah, man, this looks exciting. It looks fun, and obviously it's going to be a period piece, you know, set back.
Yeah, without really being about period at all. Like, there's no like like I literally leave out the date that this takes place. I just don't care. Like,
okay,
like
all right.
Like,
let the audience decide. No, that's cool, man.
It just says 30 years later, and then we just go right to it. That's it. And then we catch up. Yeah, it's real simple. It's real simple. I don't want to like mess with period piece because the whole thing takes place in wreckage, man. Like this whole story, it's like a Frank Miller-y type or John Carpenter-y thing, where like it takes place in one night in one neighborhood that's just a pile of ashes. Between Black Terror and these like horrifically powerful, deadly super Nazi type characters, in a like brutal brawl for survival, where Black Terror kind of has to confront a lot of his mistakes and a lot of the things he fears most.
Hell yeah!
And he's like a total haunted hero, and
it's gonna be fun.
And, like, there's a lot of cool like making you face your fear, and Lady Satan has an ability called Sincere, where she can make you like see and relive like your worst sins, you know, and like kind of, you know, break you down with that. So like there's a lot of like what you do coming back to haunt you or hurt you type themes in this book. And that's what the main story is. I mean, Black Terror discovers there's a lot more to these super Nazis come back to kill him than he expects. And it's just I love this story so much, man. I love this type of tale. I love getting to do brutal Dark Avenger stuff and like flex the high T muscles.
Just
3 years of promoting Monster MD, I needed to like.
We need to do something that's like knock down, drag out. So, how many pages are we looking at with this story?
So the first, it's a trilogy. The first book is 78 pages. You're gonna see a lot of awesome story and setup, and like pretty much all the characters within this first 78 pages of the trilogy. But you're gonna get to see, you know, bigger fights in book 2, and then in big fights in book. Actually, what's cool is like there's solid fights and like action in all 3 books throughout the way I paced it, which I'm really proud of. Like, maybe I lucked out on how that like happened, but like. Yeah, like there's awesome amounts of Lady Satan and Black Terror action in the first book. The first book, of course, they attack and they level his entire neighborhood. And it's just horrific, man. No one's alive. And like it's like a dust cloud over like New York, and like the cops like can't move in because it's just dust and like horror and like radiation and flames and like
oh fuck.
And like, and Black Terror comes out thinking like he's gonna maybe help, and he just sees the ruin, and he's just like he feels like he's already lost. But then he sees flashlights on what look like on rifles in the distance, and he's like, "It's them. They're looking for me. Like they're coming to make sure they did the job." And he gets happy, and he starts going on the frickin' hunt. So that's when like things start kicking in the overdrive. But as he's hunting and going through the trenches of what was his neighborhood, he's going through the dark trenches of his past in World War II. He's going through his past mistakes, and it's going to be so cool. I mean, the flashbacks are awesome. I use splash pages like way too much. Maybe not too much. I think it's perfect.
You know, I'm
It's,
okay
like,
with
brutal
splash pages, man.
Okay. It's a lot. Like,
Like-
I use them to like change time in a
Mhm.
brutal way. So like you'll have a whole page of like, you know, like World War II war and brutality and death everywhere. You know, so it
Hell yeah.
works. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this book, making it like big and like, you know, Monster MD is so interesting because it was so, like I said, it was a short film meant to be filmed on a shoestring budget in Chicago, Illinois, not even
Right.
LA, like shoestring style. So like it's got that confinement to it, even though it's still a great story with great characters and like you feel the big world. You don't like at least I added to it later for the main
Right.
book everyone got. Like I added like the golem scene and like I expanded the world out in a cool way. But the original was pretty compact. This, man, this is me like writing at like all cylinders comics. Like me like learning things from Monster MD and writing the best, most like
Yes.
classic dark Avenger, like brutal drag out story like you've ever read, with great characters, great layers, great metaphor, great like one-liners. Oh my god, you guys are gonna fucking you're gonna love this shit. Sorry, I'm excited. I love getting to take a
This is
classic,
what I'd love to see.
like badass evil looking character and make him more evil and horrific and make him more about the horror, make him more like live up to his coolness potential, you know?
Right.
Fuck
No, I
yeah.
remember seeing the original, you know, and just you know, being like, that's it's kind of that costume doesn't necessarily work for, you know, the terror. He's not all that terrifying. I mean, granted, I'm judging by, you know, my standards of today and having gone, you know, through all the stuff that I've read and whatnot.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I was judging it a bit harshly. Maybe that was terrifying back then. But I mean, he had like a shield with a skull and crossbones, and it was a yellow costume. Like, I
Well,
mean,
he was
granted,
black. He had a black costume.
did he?
Yeah, Black Terror. He had a black costume, and he had a skull and crossbones just on his chest, and he had kind of a red cape.
I remember
and
the
he
red
had kind
cape.
of a
Oh,
piratey-
okay, yeah.
He had more
Yeah,
of like
he-
a piratey thing, and terror
Yes.
seemed to could maybe almost mean like boat instead of. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
but some people could say yeah, it meant like horror. But like when people told me they like or their grandparents or whatever who or liked the terror back in the 40s, they liked him for being the hero who picked up the Tommy gun and just blew away the Nazis more than the other heroes. So he was like originally out of the box like a brutal killer of bad guys in those old books. But he was cheesy too. Like he was, you know, he looked kind of corny, and he had like a kid named Kid Terror or something, or Tim Terror.
Yeah.
Kid Terror, and like Kid Terror was his little sidekick who looked just like him. And there was, you know,
There you go.
yeah,
There's the original guy. Yeah.
you know, he for his era, he was considered successful and cool for like a minute, but he just never caught on in the way those other classics did, you know. Pardon me.
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be all that. I don't know. Again, judging by today's standards, not super terrifying, but I mean that's okay. Yeah, the Black Terror. I mean, I can see that being. I mean, and this is. God,
It wasn't a
was
horror. This? It wasn't like a horror book. I mean, The Shadow was more cool and horror edgy than this stuff.
Kind of suspenseful, kind of crime noir, you know, gangster type stuff. Because they're coming out of the pulp era, you know.
Yes.
With these, so
he's he
fucking cool, man.
He guns down the enemy. He knocks down airplane. He picks up airplanes and throws them with his super strength.
Oh shit!
He does stuff like that in the first, like in the first issue, I think. Like he's a World War II badass, and what's kind of cool in my book, totally remain true to that. Except I show the like real brutality of it. Like ever since I was a kid, did you ever see that classic animation with the squirrels? That's like about Christmas and goodwill on what is it like? Goodwill to Men or Peace on Earth, and it's got like the World War I trench warfare scenes that like traumatize you as a kid.
Oh my god!
You never seen that? The guys just cutting each other down in the gas masks and the horrors of war and everything. Anyway,
Wow.
That was a big influence on me. I've always been kind of obsessed with like how trenches are just horrifying, you know?
Oh
And I was
yeah.
like, hell yeah, man, let's make Black Terror Born Again hard as a trench warrior who's
Yeah.
who's scaring the hell out of people. I mean, he's coming around he could come around the bend of your trench any minute, you know what I mean? It's freaky.
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah, that's it. Should I let you do the trailer or
No, dude, I love hearing how excited and passionate you are about this story, man. Like I'm with 24 Eyes. I am very stoked.
Well, I know, I know I have to get people to understand. If you can understand what I'm going for, you're going to get how cool this really is, I think. Like, you're going to get that this is better than just another take on a Golden Age character. This is bigger. This is my ode to Dark Avenger stories that I've been wanting to tell since I was 8. Ooh, I want to share something that I haven't shown people, actually.
Absolutely, man.
On your show, because hell yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming to hang out. This is exciting, man. You know, this is part of the reason why I do this show. You know, this show in particular, it's an opportunity to say, "Hey, look, see, this has been fulfilled and to high quality, right?" And then we talk about what's next. This is what's next for you, and to hear how impassioned and excited you are about this story, you know, it makes people want to jump on board, man. I mean, get that fucking excitement train going. Early. Man. Exactly.
Keep it rolling, because I know, like, I cannot wait for you guys to see how exciting and cool this script is. Like, the lines, the scenes, just I keep going back and polishing them, and they pop, they fizzle, they're so good. Like the humanity I'm able to sink into a character that people just don't care about it has made me so excited for you guys to read this book. I'm sharing a little cool special pinup I commissioned.
Oh, that's wicked cool.
So we're doing a homage to the classic Scorpio Connection. And,
that's awesome.
I think it works. I think it works great. Like,
awesome. Totally.
Monica did a great job. It's just, I don't know. Anyway,
fantastic.
I'm living out my fantasy of doing the Dark Avenger stuff, man.
I'm man.
Really happy with it. And telling my classic, like, you know, dark, kind of on the edge of good versus evil, good guy versus like the crazy super Nazis. Like, hell yeah, I've wanted to tell this story since I was a kid in a sandbox. Let's go. Like,
right.
So yeah, I hope people dig this. This is.
And again, it goes back to like the roots of kind of like our medium, you know, coming out of the pulp era in comic books, you know, being, I don't know, I mean, Captain America was created, you know, to embolden the troops, you know, Superman, you know, it was, you know, two Jewish kids in Brooklyn that, you know, wanted to create a powerful character that they could, you know, look up to. I mean, a lot of soldiers read comics, you know, when they were overseas. Yeah. You know, and a lot of the reason why a lot of the old stuff doesn't exist now is because they were recycled, man. I mean, the paper drives, you know. I mean, I know you've seen the pictures of Captain America and Bucky, like, talking about folding up boxes and, you know, taking them down to the paper mill, you know, for the war drive. I mean, so that's the reason why none of those are around. But those characters, like the pulp era, was fucking brutal, man. Yeah. Like, you just, again, the Tommy gun, gunning motherfuckers down, you know. So this is kind of like taking it back to that, and instead of going like the happy, fun, you know, family friendly route that the Comics Code Authority inflicted upon comics, you went around that and went the whole EC Comics, you know, pulp grunge badassery, you know.
Yes. We must bring it back.
Oh yeah,
like this.
I know it's more of a callback to the roots of our genre than, you know, anything else. I love it. Yeah, I'm fucking excited for it, dude. I'm there for it.
Oh my god, I keep polishing the script over and over because it's your baby. Like,
right,
make it the best thing you can. But if people give it a shot, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I think you're going to love the thrill ride that we have with all this great art and all the badass fight scenes we have coming. It's just, oh man, this is the way I like it to make. It's one of those things where like Monster MD just kind of became a phenomenon on it, like that happened. Whereas this is more planned, and I'm scared. You know, oh no, I was scared. And then I realized, like, dude, my whole book's about how you shouldn't be scared. Like, what am I doing? You know? So, like, I'm not scared anymore, but, like, I was like, man, I'm doing a Golden Age character. I don't know if people are going to get it. But when I hear you say this stuff, it feels good. It makes me realize, you're a real deal reader. You love the pulp stuff, and you already get, I am, in a way, it's not about me doing a new take as much as it is going back to the roots that made it great. And then embracing that, the horror with it. You know, Black Terror is going to live up to his name now, man. There's going to be a lot of horror in this book, and I want people to realize, backing Monster MD, that's not just like some random book that I do. Like, that's very me. You're going to get a lot of the same stuff in this book. It's just a little bit more of like the brutal high tea stuff. But man, the laughs, like the jokes in it, are like killing it. Lady Satan has a lot of good one-liners as kind of the mouth of the story. The other cast all have these great lines that are like have a lot more meaning. I think that's one of the things I really learned to like hardest in this is like the power of the one-liner in comics and like the splash page. Like both of those are just intense throughout this story, man.
Well, when used properly, they add, you know, a nuance and character to a story.
Yeah.
You know, and that's and that's what hooks people in, you know. That's what grabs a hold of them, you know, the imagination. Like when I was reading Monster MD, you know, I knew as soon as like I got 3-4 pages into it, like I knew that this story was just going to grab a hold of my brain and let's fucking go. You know, it's just like, oh, and you know, the artwork was absolutely a vehicle for that, you know, and again, the energy in this piece right here, you know, the balls to the wall, just like fuck it. I don't give a shit if I die, and the absolute terror in that guy's face up there, you know, as he's desperately trying to stab the dude. He's like, "Oh God, that's a human head flying at me right now. Why am I holding onto this knife? Why am I not running?" That's what his face says right now. So
100%.
Yeah,
his dead comrades at their feet around them. You know, I mean, this like. When I saw all this in my mind, I had to write it down. This is too cool. Black Terror killing people with a knife in his teeth. Like, hell yeah. Like, give me some of that. He has kind of like pirate swords that nobody knows what to do with, you know? Because it's like, do we really want him to be like swashbuckling every chapter? Well, he has super strength. Sometimes he has to punch a guy. Like,
right.
I'm just like, dude, no, make him this like butcher of the trenches. Like, because have you ever held a trench knife?
They're heavy.
They're heavy. They're longer than you would expect. They're like they're on their way to being a sword. You know what I mean? Like, they really are, because you put them on the end of
That's
a
fair.
they're supposed to go on the end of your gun so you can poke the hell out of an MFer, right? So like, what if a superpowered guy was wielding those? I mean, could you imagine how horrific? Like, I went to this flea market, and there's always like a crazy guy there with like a glass eye who's selling like a bunch of crazy World War II gear. And like, I always love his trench knife section, right? I love
Here, Sonny, I got something you might like.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's the laugh. And like, and there's two teeth, right? And like moonshine coming at you in the breath. And I'm like, okay, what do we got? And he's got these crazy trench knives. Well, I find that this is actually a really important story for why this Black Terror, or part of why this Black Terror story got made. I end up finding I pull a particularly kind of mean looking trench knife out of its sheath, and it's even meaner because when I pull it out of the sheath, it's got this like saw on the other side of it.
Yep.
And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, that's a sawback blade. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, those are really illegal. And he's like, they had to make those illegal after World War I because they were so horrific. Like, you stab someone with it, and when you pull it out, it pulls their guts with it. I was like,
holy fuck.
I was like, yeah, that's what I said. And I was like,
Damn,
this is
brutal.
so scary, and it's so cool. And like, I almost wanted to buy it. I didn't want, but I didn't. Like, I said, but I didn't. Like, it was like,
oh, it's so cool in its brutality, but
it's like a cursed object. Like,
right?
like, and they tried to explain it away as like, oh no, we did that so like we could saw through trees, like if we needed to during the war. And like, everyone was like, that's bullshit. It's not real. That's the lie. They were sawing through dudes' bones while they were still alive.
Oh God. Yeah,
Ooh,
no, that's
thinking about
just
it. It's
fucking
horrific.
brutal,
so, like,
man.
So it gave me an idea, like a Nazi regiment or like group that like the saw back blade is like their inspiration. It's like their icon. It's like what they base their philosophy on. Like one edge like carves out the future, and then the other edge like strikes fear into those that would oppose that future. You know what I'm saying? Like evil. Like I thought about like an evil group of Nazis that were trying, that used that the saw back blade was like their signature thing.
Right.
And they make like a sawback sword and shit. Like, you gotta get crazy with it. And like that's what the main bad guy has. He's got a sawback sword that's like all beautiful but like horrific, right? And like so yeah, that that's like one of those tips I can give. Like flea markets are a great place, and like historic shit, great place to discover things that inspire and maybe even horrify you, that will inspire like cool stuff for your story. So I came up with these Nazi bad guys called the Black Reich because they were inspired, but they take that name kind of from Black Terror, to be honest. But their whole thing is around the sawback blade. It's a horrific instrument. It's illegal as hell. Yeah, you were not supposed to have those. If you had one, you were like a particularly like evil, like brutal motherfucker on the battlefield.
You were a particularly brutal ass.
Yeah.
Damn. I did not know that. I have a survival knife that has a sawback on it, but I can't attach it to I can't attach it to a gun. Can't make it a bayonet.
Yeah,
that's gonna be cool.
The bad guys in it will have the sawback, and he'll like recognize it and be like, "Oh my god, it's them." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I remember them from the war type shit. Which is, of course, like there's a lot of things in this that like I feel like that are classic tropes that we have seen. But like I feel like the way the story plays out, people are just going to be entertained and just love the kind of return to classics meets like my kind of dark, creepy takes on, the Vaughn style, if you will. Like I don't know what to call it, like but it's my style. It's kind of got like an 80s sensibility meets like creepy, dark, gothy shit. You know how it is. The side of me, the metal side of me, the punk side of me. Yeah, man.
You gotta give that the aesthetic. Absolutely. No, I can't wait to see.
It needs to be Bruce Timm on roids. That's what it needs to be.
I can totally see it. Just Bruce Timm just completely unleashed.
I want him to see this and go, all right. That's what I'm talking about.
I wanna do this as an animated movie. Yeah.
I wouldn't, I'm not going to dream that big. I'll just crush my own heart. I'll crush my own soul. But you know what?
Nah.
Like Bruce Timm, like he was a big influence on how I design my characters, and those characters, you see them here. Like,
that explains a lot. Actually,
you figure it
yeah, no, it really does. Like just looking at the terror right here in this, and her behind, like it's totally got that kind of Bruce Timm vibe to it, and the humor, the balance of humor with storytelling. Yeah, dude, that makes a lot of sense because Bruce Timm can be very cartoony and fun and bubbly, but at the same time very serious and human and grounded. Dark, very pulp and very noir. Oh, I totally get it, dude. That's exciting, man. I love it.
The book called Batman Animated came out in 1998. I got that book immediately, and I went home and I studied the hell out of it, and I obsessed over it. And I realized the power of how like just a simple line in character design can change a character in big ways. And I started studying how to design characters the way Bruce Timm did back then.
Very cool. I mean, if you're gonna find somebody to help you create characters, that's definitely a great person to go with. I mean,
he
look
taught
at
me that the power of simplicity and embracing that like people seem like to be scared of classic designs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were powerful and resonated for a reason though, and like there's nothing wrong with them. A lot of them, they're great. So like, and he embraced that and reminded us of that power. And so I've always tried to remember that too, you know. And
absolutely,
for sure. I've done character design work for people and for paid jobs before. I've designed superheroes for different people's books before. Unfortunately, nothing like big, you know, that I can brag about.
Right.
But like I've just done different heroes over the years for people. I love designing characters, man.
Well, it's part of world building. You know, you're creating this character, you know, in this world. I mean, sometimes it's a writing challenge to you know, create this character within the confines of a world that's already established. You know what I mean? So
it is. I like it. I think it could be kind of fun to like. It's like because for me, it's almost always puzzle solving. Like instead of doing fucking Sudoku, I'm like sitting around writing stories. You know.
Hey, I mean that's the way your brain works, and it's productive. You know.
Yeah. It is. It keeps me going. And it's fun, and it creates for fun entertainment for you guys. So
yeah.
Did you want to do the trailer? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've just been very much enjoying like all the cool stuff we're getting to hear about this.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm wicked excited. When are you planning on launching this book? By the way,
it might be like within a month or two, man. So
okay,
get ready.
All right,
get ready.
All right, and
I'll let you know the hard date.
Okay, absolutely. Oh yeah, you know, that'll be fucking fun. I cannot wait, man. All right, let's see. Will you incorporate the 2-unit? Oh, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, they're kind of, in my mind,
kind of different.
Like, the world of superheroes is separate from the world of like Monster MD.
Yeah.
Wyatt and Heidi are in that world of secret monsters and sci-fi, and whereas Black Terror is like in the classic world of like, you know, Golden Age superheroes did exist and they're around. He even mentions a few in the script, you know, like
nice
that nobody probably even knows or remembers, but just their names makes them sound smart. He's like, my knives are tungsten sharpened by Brain Boy, you know, something like that. So it's like, okay, Brain Boy, like these names are hilarious and awesome to me. Like, I think you should just embrace them. But yeah, to me, that's like a very different type of world than what we have going in Monster MD, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally different vibe. Different type of world.
Different type of sci-fi fantasy going on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand that. I asked Richard Kadri on Twitter once if he would ever incorporate his book, Butcher Bird. If he would ever incorporate Butcher Bird into his Sandman Slim series, and he kind of told me the same thing. I mean, while they're both magic and it could happen, but there's certain tonal things that worked in that story, and it was just kind of a one-off, and it was kind of a precursor to what he eventually did with Sandman Slim. So, you know, they don't all have to be connected together. You know, there are different realms and spheres. You know, things can be just, you know, stand on their own. I feel like we're kind of conditioned to, you know, have everything be interconnected because, you know, that's how the movies are.
Right. Or, well, I mean, I think it's just how our brains work, like how we want stories to intersect. I think it's natural and it's cool, and I think it's good to consider, at least. Like I consider
for sure.
But when after it was one of those things where after I wrote it, I was like, it's just what I think of my like golden age heroes in the outfits and that type of world as separate from like a world where monsters are underground, like hiding out doing drugs. Like it's just it's so like, but like, yeah, it's definitely worth considering. So yeah,
Oh, for sure.
I totally get why people are like, hey, why doesn't, like, why not, but I will say this, I am talking with a comic skater who's pretty awesome artist who does a lot of cool stuff that we've all seen. And he wants to mesh my Black Terror with his horror badass character in a crossover type book. And so you might be seeing more of my terror, like stomping around kicking ass.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like I even planned. Yeah. So like we're talking about that. I don't want to like announce, anything, but like that's exciting. He's also amazing at cover art, and we're talking about some special covers. So
excellent.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
This is exciting, man.
I'm glad people are liking this, like, and understanding like this is my own, like, this is dark, brutal adventure hero shit, but it is original. Like, I know, like, it can be compared to Punisher, so I just kind of embraced that. Like, sure. Like, he's got a Punisher vibe. Hell yeah.
Yeah, totally.
He's going to be compared to, like, Wolverine in some ways. He's going to be compared, to all this different stuff.
Right.
But that's kind of the point, because I want this story, even though it is Black Terror's story, and I want people to still love him. I want people to also get a sense from this story, like, damn, like this is an ode to Dark Avengers, man.
Oh yeah,
like hell, like yeah. I love them. I think we need more like brutal, blood-soaked heroes in our fiction. Heroes that we're scared could turn on the good guys at any minute are my favorite. Like, let's bring them back. Everyone's so soy now.
You're definitely going to bring it back, and with a vengeance. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be badass, man. Yeah. What's up, Adam? Thanks, man. I have a lot of fun with these shows, especially when I have such a great guest like Vaughn coming on. No, dude, this is great. I love this stuff. I love hearing about the excitement, the passion, the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, like, the process, because, it's I don't know. I love hearing about the process, one. But the audience also, hearing where you're coming from, that you're actively working on this thing, and I always say when you're passionate about something that you're working on, it's gonna translate through in the work that you put out, and the passion and the excitement that I've heard you talk about this project, I can see it in in the end result.
Well, I'm glad it's coming together well. I mean, this is, in a weird way, you could say I'm new to all this, man. I mean, I did do Monster MD. I did that, but I'm new to, like, I remember I made Monster MD while I worked another job, while I had like an office career. That's all gone now. This is me with no safety net. This is me creating with no worries about like whether or not this is marketable, as much as just like, I think this is the most badass thing ever. Like,
right.
I think you will too. Check it out. And it's
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking punk as fuck, man. Like, what do you, I mean, DIY or die, do really
it. I feel like I've made this really badass, like, punky metal album, and you guys are going to freaking love it. And I can't wait to drop it on you. And I'm doing this without a net. I'm seeing if I can do comics for real in a way. So like, I'm kind of proud of this end result, because to me, this says like, yes, I can envision something and put something together that people really fucking like. Like, to me, this cast is what makes it magic too. It's not just Black Terror and Lady Satan, who are awesome characters. Right. Like, these other supporting characters I made up, I just feel like they make this special. They make this story stand out in a way that, like, you're going to want to see more of it. So yeah, I don't know. We should just do the trailer because I just keep rambling.
Oh hell yeah, dude! No, I just this book is going to be fun, man. So you're going to be launching in the next maybe next couple of months. You know, we'll get wind of it soon. But you've gotten a really nice preview of what's going on. Do you how much of the book do you have done, or do you want to disclose?
Yeah, we have 14 pages inked. And our colorist is still, and I are like kind of going back and forth, figuring out like what the exact color look is going to be. But they'll have to finish this other job that they're almost done with before they can like dive in fully. So basically, like the coloring is still like in the works. But once we start it, I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of pages done quick.
Yeah, that's exciting.
10 Eric Weathers and I might letter the first 10 pages tonight. Just to get ahead on the lettering too.
Right.
I think that's fun to do.
Just to get a jump on it. Adam wants to know who is the colorist.
Oh, I can't announce it yet.
Oh.
I was asked not to announce it yet. I can't wait to announce it, but when I do announce it, I'm going to have finished colors for you guys, so I think that'll be really fun. We're going to have a good time.
Oh yeah. Take it easy, Michael T. Thanks for coming to hang out, man. Appreciate you being here. All right. Oop, whoops. You know, I just accidentally hit the button. And you know what else is fun? The whole
Kill.
Yeah.
What is this? No one must know that I'm on your show. No one must know it's me. I've censored myself.
Yes, I will answer your questions now. My voice is sufficiently scrabbled.
Here, I'll move my lips and you do the talking, okay?
My name is Monster, and I'm a colorist. I make comic books. I'm not ashamed of it.
You sound like Buffalo Bill. These guys are cool, man. Especially when I go out in public. I don't want anyone to know it's me.
Those are some crazy. Do they have mirrors on the side so you can see who's following you behind?
Holy shit! They do. I didn't know that.
I mean, they're
behind me.
They're wide enough. I mean, I figure you could just look to the side.
Coming. I see
right?
You coming. Yeah.
Right? Watching your back.
Yeah, these things keep me safe. Okay, I'm always going to wear these now.
See, Von's ready for you. Can't take him down now.
He's got vision behind.
All right, we're gonna go ahead.
Doesn't everybody have cool voice effects like you? This is great. Okay.
You know what it is, dude? I got this soundboard off of Wish for $20, and I had I had a good friend, professional sound engineer, help me set it up and figure out how it works.
And now I'm having entirely too much fun.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to go get a drink while you play my tray.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? Damn, that was a good trailer, man.
Did you really like it?
Oh yeah, dude.
I worked really hard on it, but like I didn't get to do all the stuff I wanted because I didn't have enough time to like add more imagery and like a little more polish. I wanted to have it done for being on Shane's show, so I was rushing. But at least I got it done for Shane's show, which was really fun. I really loved getting the show off on there with them. They're awesome. I
haven't gotten a chance to talk to Shane yet. I'm looking forward to it. I should reach out to him, see if he wants to do a new book. Who dis? Have him come on and talk. Because I missed Starlight Cats.
Man.
Yeah. It's looked like a beautiful book though. But
I'm glad people actually dig the trailer, though. I was a little like worried that it might be, I don't know, slow or like I don't know.
No, I mean, and I totally get the kind of '80s vibe that you were talking about, with the trailer. It's that kind of synth wavy. It's cool, man. That's what. That's
Vosto, my musician. Master of everything.
Oh hell yeah!
He does all kinds of music, and he believes in Comicsgate and what we're about, and he loves doing songs. He's doing songs for like different campaigns other than me now. Like he's done Carlo Row, he's done like Lost Pages and like Magic Cop.
Awesome.
He's done like great titles, like all those little cool themes you've heard, like throughout Comicsgate. A lot of those synth wavy ones will probably be Voss.
Excellent. Okay. Wicked.
Yeah,
Cool.
He's great, and he loves like getting our books, and like being like, I made a song for that one, I made a song for that. He's
heck cool. Yeah, man. It's it's a resume. It's like I made this badass song for this badass comic, made this badass song for that badass comic.
I think he killed this Black Terror theme. Like this is perfect. It sounds like John Carpenter wrote my theme. I'm in love. Like I love it so much. It's so perfect.
I can totally hear the Carpenter vibe, like the kind of atmospheric synthy stuff that he likes to do. Yeah, I can totally dig on that. All right, let's talk about Lady Alchemy. Like that's I saw the tweet the other day where you were tweeting out the link and like I am excited for this book, man, because I backed it a long time ago, and when I heard that you were coming on to help Martina out to finish it up, I got excited because is you, and I was excited about the project to begin with.
Yes, me too. Actually, I backed it.
Yeah, right.
I had backed Lady Alchemy before I was the writer on it, and so like I got asked to step in to take over and make the script into a legit comic script. I also ended up bringing in one of my good friends, Dario, to do the art. And like,
oh, okay, great.
And he did a fantastic job, and we ended up kind of saving the book in a way. And Martina did a great job directing and like making sure it follows her story, because this is her personal life is mixed in with like a lot of cool fantasy stuff and all kinds of other cool mixed. It's a great, like, it's a really cool indie comic if you want something that's like artsy but like tells a cool story that's kind of dark and at the same time has like a lot of style and a lot of cool, like the pages are fun and offbeat and like they do a lot of fun stuff with color. The bad guys are evil, the good guys are good. It has some personal stuff in there from Martina's actual life that she drew from her experience as a performer in nightclubs throughout New York. So it's just got it all. Like it really does tell like the story she's always wanted to tell, which I'm pretty proud of. I think the team came together beautifully on this book. That's
exciting to hear.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the final results because I have a feeling it's going to come out really cool. This book even has features. This was Lady Alchemy's thing. She wanted it to actually talk about the real rules of alchemy and teach the actual stuff throughout. So you'll get to learn so everything's like as accurate as it can be is kind of one of the things she one of the visions, she wanted for this book. So
I like that. That makes me happy. Because there's a lot of misdirection. Let's see. Frog G actually posted that a while ago. Lady Alchemy, the link to it. So guys, go check it out. And Frog G, I appreciate you, homie. Thank you for posting links. That makes it easier to makes it easier to direct people to find these things.
And it's a simple, like, what is it, like a 40 maybe it's 48 page or 44 page story, I can't remember. But Lady Alchemy it's a great setup for her character's origin too. So it's like it's set up to tell more tales that she could do in the world of alchemy. So I hope she does more, man. I think that would be really cool if she does. Because
I hope so. Now that
it's like kind of a cool fantasy world that
yeah,
in there, man. It's with its own like rules, and powers and alchemies. So
excellent. Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna have to reach out to her, see if she wants to come on and do a new book, Who Dis, so we can talk. And you always welcome to come hang out with me, homie. Yeah. Like it's always a blast hanging out with you, Vaughn. I really appreciate you coming to hang out tonight, guys. Do you guys have any more questions for Vaughn before we wrap it on up here? Anything?
Dude, what was another thing about Lady Alchemy I could say? I feel like there's more like there. It's this book. The fact that it's coming out at all is a miracle, and yet I want to say I just felt I always had a good feeling about it, like it will come out. And I'm glad to see that like some new people have backed it just today. Like multiple people have backed it, and that's great because that's going to help her get the funding she needs to get this book printed and shipped. It's been a long time coming, and people have done everything they can to try to like keep this book from coming out. It's stupid that people would do that because it's just her and her story. You know what I mean? Like, like
crabs in a bucket, man. Jealousy. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Well, I think this was about about people just trying to hurt people because their own personal interests they think they got messed with. But not every artistic relationship works out. Sometimes people just don't work out and they go their separate ways. You shouldn't try to like tear the other person down over it. Oh wow, she's got more backers. That's great. So like, guys, check this out. It's kind of like, as you can see, like there's a lot of cool, weird art, and but the story's solid, man. And like we worked a lot on this and polished it a lot, and tons of edits, man. But I think Martina's hopefully really happy with it. That's what I'm hoping. This looks pretty awesome right here. This definitely has like a Grant Morrison Invisibles vibe to it. At least to me. Yeah. I mean, that's the vibe that the line work and the colors are giving. I dig it. Early Vertigo. Early Vertigo was a fucking beautiful time for telling stories, like dark, offbeat stories that would never be told elsewhere. You know what I mean? It was one of my favorite times in comics, man. I loved going to the shop and getting all the Vertigo I could, like back in the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this totally has like an early Vertigo vibe to it, man. I am digging it.
It's really cool what the colorist is doing. And I think people are going to, once the dialogue goes with it, I think people are going to get into this kind of cool world of Lady Alchemy. I like it because it's such a cool combination of like mysticism and magic and alchemy, but then like there's like fashion and like, and then there's like, or like in like dark elite, evil people doing demonic stuff. And like, it's cool. It's and then there's angels and demons and the rules for that, and there's this whole language and the symbols are all legit in this. Everything's legit is what's cool. Like I feel like this is like a little alchemy manual happening here. It's so
that's pretty amazing.
pretty cool stuff if you're into
Fantastic.
that. Check it out, guys.
I'm definitely looking forward to it because I too backed it long ago. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I
think
just
the update is. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I like the update.
it's okay to be a little biased because this is beautiful, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I remember when she posted this image, like the initial pencils for this image, and to see it colored is so fucking cool. I'm gonna scroll down here.
Rad looking.
Yeah, I definitely want.
She's done a lot of work to keep this going, man. Like keep.
Yeah, she has. There it is.
Cool new art and everything. Yeah,
this page, man.
That's a good opening.
I love the page. I remember seeing it in just penciled, like the digital pencils, and I knew, yes, this book is back on track and it's going to come out great.
Yeah. Once we got, I mean, our artist has done stuff for like Dark Horse. He's done stuff for a lot of different labels, and he's good, man. I knew once we got him on board, we were going to get a book done,
Right. And then you get that art. Whoa, that page scaling did not work in my favor. Sorry. Oh yeah, this is so. Artists doing the colors as well. Or no, that's your book. That's the Terror. You can't announce the colorist on the Terror. Never mind.
No.
So yeah. Anyway, I will reach out to Martina and I'll see if she wants to come talk about the book. Regardless, I cannot wait for this one, and I cannot wait for
Terror in. Wait. Terror in the trenches.
All right, you guys.
Some terror, guys. Let's paint
That's
it
right.
black.
Get your terror on.
Oh, we got a comic book Bob.
I can't wait to show you guys the t-shirts I have planned for this. Oh my god.
Cool. Oh, you know me. You know I love me a t-shirt. You know I love me a t-shirt, so I'm excited about that.
There. Front row.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flying Feline says
proud,
looks
man.
awesome.
I'm proud of all the work I've done lately that is coming out. Like it's Lady Alchemy. Here it is. It's back. Godlike. I'm doing some one shot for that. Black and white volume
hell yeah.
2. I'm doing a one shot for their supplemental as well.
Yes. Love art.
I wrote something that Narwhal is producing, and is almost, the art's almost done on that. So you're going to see some more comics written by me, like more one shots coming out. That I don't know what Narwhal is going to do with it exactly, but I hope that you guys can get it in your hands at least.
Right.
I know he's going to do something. He'll do something awesome.
Right.
Great. And then who else did I do something for? I feel like I'm doing stuff for like all these different people, and it's like all starting to like almost come out. You know what I mean? Like
it's just on the verge.
And I'm proud of that because I mean, first off, I need to pay my bills, but second off, I'm getting to write and do what I love, and people seem to be liking it, and I'm just going to keep that up, man. I'm going to keep.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Making the best shit I can, and we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah!
If I fall flat on my face or no.
Yeah, it's the DIY or die, man. Brian Kriskow says Vaughn is on fire, yo, son.
Damn right.
The screams of grind.
A lot of jobs, man. That guy's talented as hell.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Read his stuff, everybody.
6-Gun Gorilla.
Yeah.
Go grab it.
I've got a thick version of that somewhere, like collected or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Kick ass.
Streams Grindhouse. More horror.
Yes, hell yeah. I was thinking about that. My book, part of why I like my Black Terror book is it does have kind of a Grindhouse feel too, while being like deep. You know what I mean? Like the good Frank Miller stuff. At least I think so. I don't know. We'll see if maybe I'm like just strutting, trying to like prove I'm a badass who knows how to like write this like brutal brawler shit. But like, I mean, I was a bouncer for some years. Like I've had my share of like bloody fist fights and bullshit. Like I've seen some shit. Like I'm not pretending I'm like, I'm not a war veteran. I'm not like those badasses or whatever, but I'm like, I've seen some shit. And like I'm bringing my sensibility for just Dark Avenger shit to the table too, you know. And I think it's going to come out pretty remarkable. I think people are going to
Hell
be
yeah.
like, I think if I want people to read it so that they can go, okay, I get it. Like this is this is the next level of Black Terror, man. He deserves it. He deserves it.
Oh yeah. Finally getting his due after all these years.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And again, I'm always more inclined to jump in on a book when I know that the story means something to the creator. You know, like Lady Alchemy to Martina. Like if the story really means something to the creator and it's not just just an idea, like Black Flag with Fraga. You know, that story means something to him. You know, that's his baby. You know, and you can see it in the pages that he is putting out. You know, the passion comes through. You know, and Mark Silvestri said it best on this DVD that I have, Counting Down to Wednesday or something like that. He says, "You better love this business." Because there are some days where you're just not going to want to do it, but you better love it. Otherwise, it's going to steamroll you, basically.
Right. That makes perfect sense. That's the nature of having a deadline to keep putting out comics, to keep doing it, Luckily, I don't have a bunch of deadlines.
Yeah, that's true.
I get to just get high and turn on loud music and write late into the night.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I feel like I'm doing when I'm doing my best writing? I feel like I'm writing a really good album that I can't wait to unleash on you.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like absolutely.
This album is like this album. You guys are gonna go, whoa, Vaughn, this shit's a little dark. But I think I like it. Like, I think this is. I don't think you guys are gonna say whoa though. I think you guys are gonna be like, hell yeah, like this is the high tea we want.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, but it is pretty gruesome. It does. There are horrific things in this terror, man.
Well, that's part of it. I mean,
it really is. We want to explore the dark side of humanity, and we want to explore our fears too. It's kind of weird because it's like very circular. All the themes, like we want to explore revenge, but we also want to explore how the damage you do comes back on you. So, but when you get revenge, then someone, damage comes back. I don't know. And there's a lot of stuff like that throughout, like your sins coming back, your fears coming back.
Right.
It's very much circular like that. So I don't know. It's a very many layered story that just seems to be like overly simple of a guy just trudging through the trenches, kicking ass. But it really is a guy dealing with his own, like what he fears most, and it turns out like a lot of it has to do with his own faults, his own mistakes in the past, his own dark side that he needs to stop denying. So
his sins coming home to roost,
totally going off and not letting you close the show.
No, man, you're telling us about this story, and like I said, it's the passion.
So much. And I want people to understand how cool it is, because like there's nothing like this on the shelves. That's for damn sure. I'm just excited. Like as a kid who grew up just like loving Wolverine, you remember that image of him the first time you saw the image of him where he was covered in ninjas from Frank?
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that striking as hell? Like, wasn't that a great image? Like that, I wanted to make a book like that since I was a kid, and now it's like I'm doing it, man.
Hell
like,
yeah,
it's Miller
dude!
Time, man. It's time.
It's brutal Miller time. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. It calls back to that thing that first struck you about it. Yeah. It's
the hero who's almost a bad guy, the hero who's kind of takes the brutal damage and somehow comes out on the other side.
The
hero who's kind of a loner, the hero who has kind of a berserker's edge to him, a dark side that demands blood,
right?
That he fights internally. All that shit, like that's the stuff I love, and I got to put it all in this book.
Yes.
It's so cool. It's such a cool book. Oh my god.
Hell
I remember I showed it the opening like few pages of the script to Clint Stoker, And I'll never forget like the way his voice sounded. He's like, because he read it and he goes, I thought, whoa, Vaughn's really going through the throat here. And like, I was like, whoa, okay, cool. Like, but he said that inspired him to up his game on his writing and like go for it more. And that made me happy because I was like, all right, like as artists, we're always inspiring.
Well, that's what we should do, man. We should
be. Like when he said that, I was like, dude, I'm doing it right. Like this script's going, like he's a good. I like his stuff. Like I appreciate his art and opinion. So like when he had that reaction, like, whoa, you're really going for my throat here. I was like, okay, like this book is gonna be brutal. Sometimes I wonder if some things in it will be too brutal for people or if it'll be just right. I don't know.
Right.
I know that like I'm okay with pretty intense violence and exploring the dark side of people being horrible. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, man. And you've got a great vehicle for it. The name Terror in the Trenches. The terror gas. I mean, it's exploring fear, like the root of fear. Yeah,
I started realizing that I didn't even think about fear all that much, and yet it's such a like ever present force in my life, especially these days. Like we're being forced to live in fear, and I started to realize like fear is powerful. Fear will get people to do whatever you want them to do, but at the same time, a fear can also be a fight or flight response. Sometimes you're going to fight. So some people are going to come at you with all they have.
Oh yeah.
Going to shoot you in the face or whatever. So like it's been, So, and I started thinking about how you can respect fear and how you can master it. That's something that's a classic thing that they did in Dune. They've done it, right? So I don't talk about it. I don't harp on it too much, but like I really did learn stuff throughout making this book, and it does cover some cool things about fear that I think people like. It's kind of cool. What's one of the coolest parts about this book actually is when he fights these different bad guys, and you get to see what they're afraid of. Yeah, and it's gonna blow your mind. Like what they're afraid, you know what I mean? Like it's much more interesting than what you would expect. Let's just say that. I loved getting to play with that from a story standpoint.
You got all these toys. I mean, and the cool thing I think is that you've got this one main character, and you've kind of the classic Golden Age character, and you've redesigned him, updated him a little bit, and then you've built this world around him. You're not just resting on the laurels of what was there before. You're actually taking this and like, I've got a cool idea with this character, that this story works specifically with this character, and I'm going to build this world around him.
Well, it was kind of like I had a concept for a story. What if a hero was forced to move through like a hero who was a veteran of trench warfare was forced to move through the trenches of his own neighborhood in one brutal night. And then Black Terror, I wanted a vehicle. Like I dropped him into those trenches, and it was just a perfect fit. It was like where he belonged. And the world, and then the world, I guess, did spring up the world sprung up around from Black Terror as the root. So first it was Lady Satan, and she was Golden Age, but then I started having to come up with characters that were like World War II-esque, but like, so it was like the idea that I could take mutation things or cybernetic things and magic things and then give it a military edge.
Yeah.
And that like kind of guided my design language and my ideas for the characters. That's why we have a sniper. That's why we have a Nazi Baroness like type military looking character. That's why we have stuff like that. So it's letting the story, tell itself. I mean, because sometimes as a writer, you're just you're receiving
as much as you are writing. You know what I mean? Like you're receiving this story. You're just you're getting it down, and you're making sure that it makes sense and is fun. But you've got to be true to the story that you're getting.
Right. Because otherwise, why tell it? I'm
exactly.
Do it right or not at all type of guy. That's why that's part of why Monster MD took a lot of time, because I wanted it to be as good as I could make it. Like it's perfect, and and there was so much to oversee. But this time, I have less pages to oversee. We're gonna get it done faster. We're gonna get it in your hands faster. It's 78 pages a book. We're gonna do a whole trilogy that I want to be able to give people a slipcase for later.
Nice.
It's a great script. The art is gonna blow your mind, and I don't know. I just feel like we have something really special here brewing for Black Terror. It's like I took a risk by doing this, but I hope it pays off. I really do, man. Because if it pays off, it could pay off well, and people could start to love the character, and I could actually have a paycheck to be able to feed myself while making more comics for everybody.
Hell yeah, and that's what we want. We want more Vaughn comics, especially when they're gonna be badass. Monster MD was badass and awesome, and Terror in the Trenches is going to be badass and awesome as well.
Yes, dark superhero shit. I'm not going to write anything like that for a long time. I'm going to go back. I'm also going to go move into things like Monster MD, and I want to do something called X Devils. I want to do all kinds of cool other stuff. So I don't know. I hope people will give my dark, creepy superhero stuff a shot.
I don't see why not. I mean, there's all kinds of non-dark and non-creepy superheroes out there. Why not?
Yeah. Why not give a dark, creepy hero a try?
Yes. Well, we need a Dark Avenger hero that's balls to the wall again. I feel like you should see my parents watching The Punisher. They're like, he killed that guy and it was so awesome. People want some dark vengeance in their porridge. I can feel it. If my suburban ass parents in Oklahoma are like, we like watching the Daredevil and Punisher fuck people up, then America's ready for my Black Terror.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I mean, I could totally see. Now I'm torn. As to whether, see it done live action, kind of the way they did, Punisher and Daredevil, or brutal animated feature,
Oh man,
done in the Bruce Timm-esque style,
People have asked me, they've told me brutal animated feature would be where it's at for them. I'm like, I see it. I could see it. We could make
totally, man.
We could do it. If when 3 books are done, I'll come back to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
We'll talk about an animation if it's popular and people are digging it, and you know what I mean? We could do more with him if people dig it. We'll just have to see though,
Oh yeah, 100%. I know I'm excited about it and signed up. So the link should be in the description of this video to sign up for Terror in the Trenches. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for coming to hang out this evening. Vaughn, always a pleasure hanging out with you, brother.
You're always great, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime, Anytime, dude. All right, guys, we will see you later.
The doctor. Is he?
Seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?